We now know the name of a woman whose body was found in a suitcase near a road in Greenwich, Connecticut. Valerie Reyes was identified by family members today. The 24-year-old's body found on Tuesday about 12 miles away from her home in New Rochelle. No arrests have been made in the case. Confession from the man accused of killing 19-year-old Sarah Stern. And we want to warn you, what you're about to hear may be disturbing.
And it took me a half an hour to kill her. I thought I was going to be able to choke her out and have her out in like a couple minutes. I choked her out, and then she was just laying there having a seizure or something. So then I got a shirt and I just shoved it down her throat so she wouldn't throw up or anything, and held my finger over her nose.
Welcome to the channel! But before we jump in, hey friends, if you end up liking this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. Also, drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from and what time it is there. I'm really curious to see where my audience is tuning in from. All right, now let's get started. So, this story kicks off in a small coastal town called Neptune City in New Jersey. It's super close to the Atlantic Ocean, right near some popular beaches like Asbury Park and Long Beach Island. The town's mostly residential, with just a handful of shops and restaurants, and it's known for having that quiet, cozy, suburban vibe that New Jersey's suburbs are famous for. The population is pretty small, and people there are friendly and community-minded. And then, on December 3rd, 2016, at exactly 2:46 in the morning, it happened.
911, where is the emergency?
Yeah, not emergency. Actually on the Belmar Bridge, right after heading south in the middle of the bridge, there's a car that's abandoned. It's off to the side of the road, but
The Belmar Bridge being the 35 bridge?
yeah, the 35 bridge would be going from north going south
Into Belmar.
into Belmar. Yeah.
Right. Hey, did you pass the midpoint? Because up to the midpoint is Neptune, and after the midpoint is Belmar.
So yeah, Neptune actually. Technically, it was after. It looked like it was more on the Neptune side.
And what kind of car is it?
Kind of looks like an old beat up, light tan colored like sedan.
And what was your name, sir?
So if it's okay, I'd just rather be anonymous.
And this is your cell number?
Yeah, I'm driving Uber and Lyft tonight, so I just figured I'd give a call in because it's kind of hard to see. I think if you're coming the other way.
And was there anybody inside the vehicle?
I looked, no.
Okay.
Unless they were sleeping, I couldn't see them by their head being up. Nobody
Okay.
looked like they were in it.
The Neptune Township Police headed out toward the Belmar Bridge along Route 35. They actually found an abandoned car there, an Oldsmobile 88 from 1994, just sitting there all alone on an empty street. The car looked like someone had just left it in the middle of the road. The keys were inside, the doors weren't locked, and the interior was completely empty with no sign anyone had just stepped out. There wasn't a single scratch or dent, no evidence of a crash or a struggle, and nobody had tried to break in or tamper with it. That made the whole situation feel even creepier. The car looked deliberately abandoned with no explanation at all. The police ran the license plate right away and found out the car was registered to Lillian Stern. But here's the thing, the main driver wasn't Lillian herself, it was her granddaughter, 19-year-old Sarah Stern. That just made everything feel even more alarming. Sarah was young, full of life, part of a small, tight-knit community, and the sudden disappearance of her car was already setting off major worry. A few of the detectives even knew Sarah personally. They knew her family, her habits, what everyday life looked like for them. The community was so small and close that seeing her car left like that on those quiet streets sent a real shockwave through everyone. That's when the worry got real. Even familiar places and familiar faces suddenly felt suspicious and scary, and anyone walking by could feel the weight of the unknown pressing down.
You can put me out with New Jersey registration. It started to tell out.
Where is he today?
The New Jersey registered car was parked right on the side of the road, overlooking the dark, glistening water, and an eerie thought immediately crossed the officers' minds. Maybe Sarah or someone else had jumped into the river. The air was cold, and the sense of unease seemed to wrap around the spot where the abandoned Oldsmobile sat. The silence felt unnatural, broken only by the distant sounds of water hitting the shore, a haunting reminder that danger could be lurking just around the corner. A dive team started searching the Shark River under the bridge, but the darkness made it nearly impossible. They had to wait until sunrise, when the light would finally reveal the riverbed. Everyone knew there was serious danger. If someone ended up in the water, the fast current could sweep them far all the way toward the Atlantic Ocean. The river wasn't deep, but it was swift and icy this time of year, and even a small movement in the water could turn deadly. The police called Michael Stern, Sarah's dad, who was in Florida at the time. He hadn't heard from his daughter all day, and a few hours earlier, he'd tried and failed to reach her to say goodnight. His heart was racing, his thoughts a mess. Where was she? Was she safe? He asked the police to reach out to her best friend Liam and his mom, Megan. Maybe Sarah had stayed with one of them. With a million worries swirling in his mind, Michael set off on the 17-hour drive from Florida to New Jersey. Every mile felt like forever, and the thought of his daughter possibly in danger haunted him the whole way. Sarah, 19, was an aspiring artist. She'd always faced the tricky choice between sports and art. She played softball and was on the swim team, but in the end, she chose the creative path, studying art and television production in college. She often appeared at film and art festivals and conventions, constantly snapping photos and excitedly painting local school windows for holidays, bringing bursts of color into the town's everyday life. Honestly, if something had a creative edge, Sarah wanted in. She called herself a reckless optimist, and her friends said that described her perfectly. She dove into projects headfirst and always tried to see the positive side, even when things weren't going her way. Sarah lived in Neptune City with her dad and grandmother. She was an only child, her mom, Carla, having tragically passed away from cancer a few years earlier. Carla had run a bookstore for 25 years and loved to travel. Both things had inspired Sarah's creativity and her love for discovering new things. Despite the devastating loss, Michael and Sarah grew even closer after her mother's death, supporting each other through the darkest moments.
190. Can you see if we have any contact info for the aura? Just try giving him a phone ball before the show gets here.
Before the police towed the car, the officers headed over to Sarah and Michael's house. It was just a little after 3:30 in the morning.
Hello? Hello? Neptune City Police! Hello? Neptune City Police, hello? Let's check down here.
What was strange was that the lights inside the house were on and the back door was left unlocked. When the officers stepped inside, they were immediately hit by an eerie silence. The house felt empty and unwelcoming, every step echoing hollowly through the rooms. The air was thick with the sense of emptiness, and even the familiar things that usually signaled life now felt alien. It soon became clear that, although Sarah lived there with her grandmother, she hadn't actually been in the house since Michael left for Florida. She hadn't been feeling well and had stayed at a family friend's place. So by all appearances, the only ones supposed to be in the house were Sarah and her dog Buddy. That made the silence feel even more unsettling. The worry only grew when the officers found Buddy locked in his cage. Buddy was Sarah's little love, her constant companion, and friends said he hardly ever stayed in the cage. Normally, he'd roam freely around the house, and wherever Sarah went, Buddy went too. Someone had put him in the cage and locked it, and that was totally unlike Sarah. She would never control Buddy like that. He was supposed to be free, not isolated. The police spoke with the Stearns' neighbor, Robin, who confirmed that Sarah would never leave without making sure someone was taking care of Buddy. The fact that the dog was left alone, without food, water, or company, was one of the most worrying signs. Every detail from the locked cage to the empty house only added to the feeling that something was seriously wrong. But Robin also remembered a strange detail. That day, Sarah had come over with her friend Liam to drop off a box of items she said belonged to her mom. She was actively packing things and distributing them to different people's homes, but why she was doing this remained unclear. Robin took the box, but later, when she tried to reach Sarah, she got no response. That little inconsistency added even more tension. It was like something had been left unsaid, something happening behind the scenes. The officers gave Buddy a few treats and made sure he was okay while Michael was on his way back. They carefully checked that he wasn't injured or scared, knowing his behavior could show signs of stress or fear. They reported every finding in detail to the station, recording each note because in this case, like in most true crime stories, the little details could turn out to be the most important. The search for Sarah Stern officially kicked off, and you could feel the tension in the air right away. Considering where her car was found just sitting on the roadside above the river, keys still inside, and no personal belongings, the police had to consider the worst-case scenario. Maybe she had jumped into the water. But her dad, Michael, flat out rejected that idea. He knew his daughter. Sure, she'd been through some tough years, but now she was full of optimism, bursting with big plans and dreams. Her bright ambitions left no room for self-destruction. Sarah lived with an open heart and was always chasing new, exciting experiences. She had an amazing circle of friends, and nothing ever held her back. Her list of plans was long and varied. For instance, the local spot, Bruno's Pizza and Sub Shop, had asked her to paint a winter mural on their window for Christmas. A small thing, maybe. But for Sarah, it was an important creative task, a chance to leave her mark on the community. She was also planning a trip to New York to catch a Broadway show, and at the same time, she was signing up for bartending school so she could work nights while dedicating her days to art and photography. Next summer, Sarah planned to move permanently to Canada with her dog Buddy, to be closer to other relatives. She'd just bought a TV as a Christmas gift for her grandmother and had already ordered a hovercraft she'd use once she settled in. She loved Canada and traveled there often. It was a place she could picture herself living forever, a place she truly longed for. That's the kind of change and new beginning she wanted in her life. Even her immediate plans were ordinary and full of life. The next day, she was supposed to have dinner with a friend and keep working on a few ongoing art projects. Nothing hinted at danger, nothing suggested her life could be at risk, everything seemed completely normal. That's what made her sudden disappearance without a trace so baffling and frightening. It seemed that one of the last people to see Sarah was her longtime friend, 19-year-old Liam McIntasney, the same Liam who had helped her deliver some of her things to Robin's house. He was part of her life, a trusted confidant, and his name immediately drew police attention because every detail who saw Sarah last and what she was doing could be crucial to unraveling this mystery. They'd known each other since they were 6 and had stayed super close ever since, meeting back in Sunday school all those years ago. Their friendship was so strong that they even talked about moving to Canada together, dreaming about a future they could share. When Michael learned his daughter was missing, some of the first people he suggested the police contact were Liam and his mom, Megan. They spent a lot of time with Sarah, and Michael hoped maybe Liam knew something important or might notice a clue. That morning, Megan answered the door for the police. Her face was worried, and her hands were shaking. When the officers explained they couldn't find Sarah and were concerned for her safety, Megan calmly but firmly said, "I'll call her. She'll answer me, for sure." But the call immediately went to voicemail, and on top of that, her normally blue iMessages were now showing up green, which only made things feel more alarming. It was a clear sign that something was wrong. Megan pointed the police toward her son Liam. He lived just around the corner with 19-year-old Preston Taylor, another close friend of Sarah. Preston had even taken her to the junior prom, and the three of them were usually seen together, a tight little crew of friends. Where one went, the others were usually nearby, always in touch. Even though people sometimes joked about possible romantic relationships among them, there was nothing like that, just strong friendship, no romance at all, best friends who'd spent most of their lives together. In Sarah's yearbook, under Best Friends, there was a photo of Liam and Preston, and on Liam's Facebook page, Sarah was listed under Family. Around 4 in the morning, just a few hours after the abandoned car was reported, detectives showed up at Liam's apartment. The early morning darkness and silence only highlighted how serious the situation was, with every step echoing through the empty hallways. The tension was almost tangible. Any small detail could help reveal where Sarah was and what had happened to her.
You, Liam? You got a second? Can I come in and talk to you real quick?
Yeah, no problem, officer.
Is Sarah here by chance?
No,
When was the last time you talked to her?
I was with her today,
What time?
before I went to work.
So it was earlier today?
Yeah,
When was the last time you had any kind of contact at all with her?
um,
Turn some light on if you don't mind.
I mean, we went to get food today,
And you went to work at what time?
4:30.
Okay, so you haven't talked to her since 4:30? You have
No.
a cell phone you can reach out to her on?
I actually haven't been able to find my cell phone.
So you haven't been able to talk to her, you don't know where your cell phone is?
Liam told the police that he had seen Sarah the day before she disappeared, but in the last few hours, he hadn't heard anything from her. According to him, he'd been at work that day, lost his phone, and when he got home, he just went to sleep, not suspecting that anything was wrong. He made a point of saying he wasn't ignoring her on purpose, it was just how things worked out. Earlier that same day, he'd been at her house helping move some things around. In fact, there were 3 boxes in his apartment filled with her mother's belongings. A quiet confirmation that they really had been spending time together, just doing normal, everyday stuff. He explained that they'd driven around town for a bit, no real plan, just kind of killing time, you know? Around 2:30 in the afternoon, they stopped at Taco Bell to grab something to eat, nothing unusual, just a quick midday stop. After that, Liam dropped Sarah off, and around 4 o'clock, he went to work. He said she looked completely normal at the time, and nothing seemed strange or worrying. Liam also shared something important. Recently, Sarah had trusted him with very personal information. After her mother died, she found a shoebox filled with thousands of dollars in cash, hidden in a second family home. Inside was a note saying the money was meant for her as an inheritance. A lot of the bills were in rough shape, old, worn, some even stuck together like they'd been sitting there for years. They talked about it a lot. If she could figure out how to safely deposit the money or make it legitimate, it could give her a real chance to chase her dream and focus fully on art. This was backed up by Sarah's aunt. She explained that Sarah kept part of the cash in a fireproof safe in her bedroom and placed the rest in a bank safety deposit box. Still, the aunt admitted something about this made her uneasy. Sarah had told Liam about the money, even though they'd previously agreed not to tell anyone. It was a large amount, and any extra attention could be risky. But to Sarah, Liam wasn't just a friend, he was the person she trusted the most, the one who knew almost everything going on in her life. When police asked Liam directly why he thought Sarah might have disappeared, his answer stood in sharp contrast to her father's. While Michael talked about optimism, plans, and confidence in the future, Liam said he saw things differently. According to him, a few years earlier, during a difficult time marked by tension with her father and the devastating loss of her mother, Sarah had tried to take her own life. That detail landed like a warning bell, instantly giving the case a darker, heavier tone.
Keep looking for your cell phone, man, because we're trying to find Sarah. What was her mindset last time you talked to her?
I just know she's been trying to get away and told me she's going to Canada.
Trying to get away, okay. Canada, she's been real depressed lately?
Her dad is crazy.
Okay, and then she's dealing with the loss of her mother. Her dad's in
Yeah.
Florida right now, right?
Her dad, yeah, he's coming back today, I guess. I don't.
Where's her grandma?
Grandma's actually sick.
Where's your grandma at right now? She's not at the
She's
house.
staying with some family member.
Maybe reach out to some friends, maybe hit our message on
Yeah.
social
I
media.
definitely will.
Start reaching out to somebody, see if anybody's talked to her, or
Yeah.
when they talked to her, what her mindset was and all that, all right?
Planning on getting a phone.
Michael was shocked and deeply upset when he heard Liam's words. He'd known Liam for years and had always trusted him. So why was he saying such painful things about Sarah? Sure, they'd had rough patches, but they'd never had serious arguments. Everyone knew their relationship was solid and warm, just like Sarah's relationship with Liam's new girlfriend. Michael found it hard to accept the idea that someone his daughter trusted could judge her state like that. They texted constantly, sharing everything that happened in their lives. And more than that, their messages showed that the only day they hadn't talked was the very day Sarah disappeared. On that same day, her iPhone messages, which were usually blue, were sending as green. It was a small but alarming detail that immediately caught the police's attention. Sarah had never gone missing before, never left Buddy unattended, and never cut off contact with her loved ones. She had always been reliable and predictable, so her sudden disappearance threw everyone who knew her completely off balance. Still, the police had questions. Did Liam know where she was? Could he be covering for a friend who might have run off? Most likely, he'd be the first person Sarah would confide in, and detectives couldn't help but wonder if he knew more than it seemed at first glance. Surveillance footage confirmed that they were together at Taco Bell during lunch. Every step they took was recorded on camera, and even small details didn't escape investigators. A neighbor's security camera also captured them coming and going from Sarah's house throughout the day, giving the police a clear timeline of their movements. Every clip added tension. Everything looked normal, but Sarah's disappearance made the usual routines feel shockingly suspicious. They also confirmed that Liam went to work that day, and his presence on shift was verified. But later that evening, just a few hours before the police arrived at the bridge, around 11:45 at night, cameras caught Sarah's car leaving her driveway. The problem was, it was impossible to tell for sure if she was the one driving.
So that's the last time that there's any kind of recording or that anybody had seen her. We haven't heard that anybody saw her after that, and we just don't know what happened after that. We're trying to solve this by having the search. We just want to see if something happened over by that river, and we want to be able to get Sarah back. Coming out of the Shark River Marina area in Belmar and Avon, Shark River Hills and Neptune City, that area, and I think part of Wall Township too. So it encompasses a big area. It's a big stretch of water, and we're just trying to get as many people out there as possible to just see if we can uncover anything. Everybody that talked to her in the days leading up to that, she seemed just fine. So, and it's a mystery. It's a mystery, and it's shocking, and it just takes my mind to another area, and I just know it's very depressing. It's very hurtful and sad, and it's not a feeling any parent or anyone should have with anybody that's close to them or any loved one. Where are you, Sarah? Give us a call. Come on home. Buddy's waiting for you. Buddy's her dog. She loves the dog, and I just don't understand why we haven't heard from her.
By all accounts, Liam was still the last known person to see Sarah that day. So on the afternoon of December 3rd, detectives went back to his place to see if he might be hiding something. His story hadn't changed. They'd met for lunch, spent some time together, and then he went to work, leaving Sarah at her house. He insisted that she hadn't been in the best headspace and really wanted to leave New Jersey. Sure, everyone else described her mood differently, but Liam had a special connection with her. So the question was his version the truth?
I've been friends with her since first grade, so we have a pretty good friendship.
What's going on? Just give me what's going on with her. Like, how's she been acting lately?
The
same? Different?
No.
Liam, you've known her since first grade, you said.
Yeah.
Has she been different than normal lately?
Well,
and for how long?
In the past, she has had a tendency to have self-destructive, suicidal behavior. I actually know that.
How long ago?
Years ago.
And what was it that she would be self-destructive and suicidal? Sorry.
It was over.
Stepping on you.
Over something her dad did. I'm not too sure because it was. I think it was my freshman year, sophomore year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my second year of college right now.
4 or 5 years ago.
But
Mm-hmm.
I remember being with my girlfriend. She was completely obsessed with my girlfriend. And something happened with her dad. My girlfriend had to leave to go take care of her because she was saying, "You don't come here right now, I'm going to kill myself."
So she's made comments like that in the past?
Yeah. Over the past few months, she's been telling me, how bad her relationship with her father is and how she just needs to get out of here.
Why was it bad? What made it bad?
Fighting.
Dude, if you know anything about where this girl is or had any contact with her, you need to let us know.
Believe me,
And exactly what it was that you had spoken to her about yesterday afternoon before you went your way and she went her way. You need to open up and let this detective know everything, man. Again, Liam, we've said it a couple times. I'm going to throw it at you one more time, dude. We just want to make sure she's okay. Nobody's going to get in any trouble here. We just got to make sure that Sarah's all right.
Liam was cooperative and seemed genuinely willing to help as much as he could. He even offered to sit down for a recorded interview on his own.
I couldn't tell you. I can honestly tell you that. I'm one of her closest friends, and I have no idea why she wouldn't tell me anything before she left. Like the last time I said goodbye to her, it was just like any other day. Like, see you later, I gotta go to work. Nothing. She didn't say anything.
Did she have her phone while you were there? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw her phone. And you haven't been able to find her cell phone? I don't know if you guys can tell me that.
Do you know where her cell phone is?
No, I have no idea. But probably on her.
During the interview, Liam started talking more and more about Sarah's suicidal thoughts and the terrible arguments she supposedly had with Michael. Now, he was claiming that Michael had threatened her and even accused him of allegedly stealing money from her inheritance.
Yeah, I know some of her family.
You know her dad?
Mm-hmm.
What's her relationship like with her dad?
Not good. When her mom died, she had money that was supposed to go to her, and her dad took that from her. It's kind of been the big thing over the years that she's always said. The dad took money from her, dad took money from her. She definitely has some trust issues. Believe me, I've done nothing but just try to find out if there was any physical violence between her and her father. I've always been trying to get that out.
Then, all of a sudden, he said something that completely shifted the tone of the interview. Something strange.
I talked to you guys about was if she did jump off the bridge, what are the odds that she's not somewhere all the way out in the ocean by now? And did she tell you she was going to jump off the
The
bridge?
detectives thought it was an extremely strange question.
That she was going to jump off the bridge, there would have been no way that I could have gone to work that night. I went to work and I had one of the best nights of my life. I made a bunch of money. All my tables were good. I had a great time. It definitely, I would not have been able to do that.
But before the detectives could press him further and ask more questions, new information came in. Liam's parents had reached out to a lawyer on his behalf. That immediately changed the course of the conversation. As expected, the lawyer advised him to cut off all communication with the police right away. After that, the interview was officially over. For the investigators, it was a worrying sign the conversation had ended at the very moment when the questions were piling up. On the same day Sarah disappeared, surveillance cameras at her bank captured an important detail. The footage showed her going inside to withdraw $7,000 from the nearly $23,000 in her safety deposit box. Liam had been waiting for her in the car outside. The timing matched roughly with when they were having lunch at Taco Bell. These clips added another piece to the puzzle, one that didn't fit neatly with the version of events Liam had given. So, naturally, the detectives asked themselves, why did he only mention Taco Bell? He had already talked about the inheritance, the cash, and the money, but for some reason, he didn't mention that Sarah had withdrawn a large sum from the bank that day. Was it a simple oversight, or was he deliberately keeping it quiet? No one knew yet. There was another important discovery. As previously noted, Sarah's car had been seen leaving her driveway at 11:45 at night. And while Liam claimed he was supposed to work until midnight, records showed he had actually finished his shift at 10 o'clock. That meant he had no alibi for several hours, the exact window that was becoming increasingly critical to the investigation. The next person the police talked to was Preston Taylor, Liam's apartment mate, and another close friend of Sarah. Preston behaved differently. He was much less talkative, answering briefly and cautiously, like he was afraid to say too much. Still, he confirmed the timeline Liam had given, noting that everything he'd heard from his roommate matched what Liam told the officers. "What do you think happened to Sarah?" they asked him directly. With tears in his eyes, Preston said he thought she might have jumped from the bridge. He listed the reasons he believed could have pushed her to that step: conflicts with her father, possible depression, grief that she hadn't fully processed after her mother's death. According to him, it was a long, heavy list that seemed enough to explain a tragedy like this. But for the investigators, Preston's words didn't answer their questions. If anything, they deepened the sense that behind the official stories, something far more complicated and darker was at play.
She's at your house, 4 o'clock in the morning. She's missing. You just find out that her car is found on the bridge. And now Liam is telling you that he was with her. You don't remember anything that he said to you? Am I understanding that correctly? Yeah. You have no recollection at all about what he told you he did with her? Did he say that he was at her house? Did he say that they went to the movies? Did he say that they went to the beach? What did he say they did? If you did say anything, I missed it.
As detectives left the room, they turned to each other and shared a look. There was no doubt in their minds. Both Preston and Liam knew more than they were saying.
When the detectives stepped out of the room, they exchanged a look. There was no doubt in their minds. Both Preston and Liam knew more than they were saying. They knew what had really happened to Sarah. The police were also certain she hadn't jumped from the bridge. And why would she run off without taking anything with her, especially her inheritance? Besides, her plan to move to Canada had never been a secret, so there was no reason to do it in secret.
Well, it's been a full week since 19-year-old Sarah Stern of Neptune was last seen, and now her family and friends are organizing a search party.
Family going to, if you will, take matters into its own hands, get a search party together.
It was now almost a week since Sarah had last been seen.
It's pretty strong, so hopefully we're going to find some.
Liam, his twin brother Seamus, and Preston teamed up with nearly 200 volunteers to search for Sarah. They split into groups, combing the area for 12 hours a day, despite the bitterly cold temperatures. The organizers warned everyone that they were taking part in the searches at their own risk, but no one cared. Everyone was driven by a mix of determination, fear, and hope. Each step through those long hours carried the weight of wanting to find her. Divers scoured the river for days, checking every bend and underwater drop. But it was all in vain. The water didn't give up a single clue. Helicopters combed the area from above, scanning the shoreline and river channels, but still nothing. When the water searches turned up empty, the New Jersey State Police's Missing Persons Unit and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children stepped in. Even with all these efforts, the sense of hopelessness kept growing. No leads, nothing at all. Time passed, and the investigation seemed stuck in a dead end. And yet, eventually, there was a breakthrough. One of the key witnesses was Anthony Curry, a student who went to school with Liam, Sarah, and Preston. A young aspiring filmmaker, Anthony often talked movies with Liam, who was a huge fan, especially of horror and plotting stories. Anthony later remembered a conversation from a few days before Sarah was officially reported missing. At the time, it had seemed like just a joke, part of their usual discussions, but the more he thought about it after Sarah disappeared, the more unsettling it became. According to Anthony, Liam had shared a made-up story. A man strangles a woman to death to steal money she recently found. Then he asks friends to help get rid of the body, dumping it off a bridge and staging it as a suicide. Afterwards, they bury the cash in a park to dig it up later and get rich. Anthony remembered that Liam had been thrilled by this story, smiling, practically bouncing with excitement, like a kid caught up in a new idea. At the time, Anthony hadn't thought much of it. They always talked about movies, especially horror. And Liam could be a little eccentric. But after Sarah went missing, everything changed. Liam started messaging Anthony on Snapchat every single day, insisting on meeting in person. He was desperate to know if the police had talked to Anthony and whether his name had come up. Every message from Liam radiated anxiety and impatience, and Anthony realized that what had once been simple curiosity had morphed into something tense, almost creepy. It was right then that the story Liam had once described suddenly popped back into Anthony's mind. He remembered exactly where Sarah's car had been found on the bridge, and a thought hit him. If Liam had absolutely nothing to do with Sarah disappearing, then why was he acting so anxious? Snapchat is built so that all private and group messages disappear automatically once they're viewed. So the fact that Liam insisted on communicating through this app made things even more suspicious. Luckily, as Anthony's doubts started to grow, he snapped photos of some of the messages on another phone. One of them mentioned old, poor quality cash, and the police already knew that's exactly how Sarah's inheritance money looked. That was a serious breakthrough. It became clear that Liam was, in a way, trying to carefully reveal something important to Anthony. The police asked Anthony to try talking to him again, maybe get a small confession, or push him to reveal more. Anthony agreed to help and suggested that Liam meet up and take a ride in the car just to talk things out. Detectives rigged Anthony's car with a very well-hidden microphone and a tiny camera. On January 31st, at 11 p.m., Liam got into the car.
What's happening, buddy? How you doing? You want a cigarette? No, I'm good. I quit them shits. I was smoking a lot of cigarettes while I was tripping. Really? Yeah. I tripped for like 2 months straight.
He looked completely paranoid, like on edge, and actually asked his friend to check the car for bugs before getting in.
You can't blame me for doing this, right? I gotta feel you up real quick, alright? You're good. No disrespect. I'll show you. No disrespect, okay? Nothing. Yeah, I got the FBI on my ass, dude. What are they questioning? Oh, yeah, a lot. About what?
What Liam started saying next completely shocked everyone. This was way beyond a small confession. He admitted that he had killed Sarah and that he'd been planning it for months. The motive? Straightforward. He wanted to get his hands on her inheritance.
Pretty much hung her, like, I picked her up and had her just, like, dangling off the ground, and she just pissed herself, and you lose control of your said my name, and then that was it. And it took me a half an hour to kill her. I thought I was going to be able to choke her out and have her out in, like, a couple minutes. I choked her out, and then she was just laying there having a seizure or something. So then I got a shirt, and I just shoved it down her throat so she wouldn't throw up or anything, and held my finger over her nose, and set a timer. That's the only time I had my phone, and it took me like a half an hour.
He said he had strangled Sarah at her own home so forcefully that, in his words, he almost hung her, lifting her off the floor. Liam also admitted that he had been worried about Sarah's dog, but apparently the dog just watched the whole time.
To walk out the front door, I choke her out, drag her. My biggest problem was the dog, and her dog laid there and watched as I killed her. Didn't do anything. Her fucking dog. What kind of dog? Yeah, what kind of dog is that? It's like some. Was it a big dog? It looks like a beagle, but it's like the size of a Great Dane. Nobody was there? No, nobody was there. Even her dad wasn't there. He was in Florida. I have to leave. I fucking dropped my phone at Sarah's house. My phone was at Sarah's house. Like. Wait, you left your phone? Yeah, I lost it. I couldn't find it. I had to go to work. I had timed everything out so that. Fuck? Why did you take your phone? You should have left it in your fucking pocket. Dude. What were you doing? Strangling someone? I couldn't find it, dude. It ended up being out in the driveway. Oh, it must have dropped at you. It must have dropped when I was crawling.
Then he admitted that he realized he couldn't handle the body on his own, so he asked Preston for help. According to Liam, Preston already knew the whole plan and had agreed to help in exchange for $3,000 and later a bigger cut once Liam got access to the inheritance.
I choke her out, drag her into the back, put her in a bathroom, and then I had to go straight to work. So Preston came over, took the body, put it in the bushes, and then I was at work. I had a full, night of work, except I left work a couple times. which looks sketchy.
Right.
Look for my phone though,
Right.
which is a reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, you gotta look for your phone. Yeah, you can't.
Which is kind of like me losing my phone is kind of a good thing because the cops are like, oh, he's hanging out with her. He lost his phone. He's going back and forth between his house looking for it.
His coldness and arrogance while telling the story were striking. He kept smiling, almost like he was proud of himself and the plan he had carried out.
Planned Sarah's situation for me to be interrogated by cops. Like, that was whole part of my plan to make me look not guilty. And the worst part is we threw her off the bridge and the body never showed up.
It's probably frozen.
It's probably all the way out in the ocean.
He was obsessed with money. Literally nothing else mattered to him. Anthony sat there, listening, knowing he had to let Liam keep talking, but holding back his horror was incredibly hard. Then Liam explained that he went to work while Preston went to Sarah's house to move the body. Around 10 p.m., Liam finished his shift, and together with Preston, they went to pick her up using her own car.
Right. Go straight over. Preston and I go over to her house, take her safe, bring that over to my house before we do anything. Then we take her body out of the bushes and drag it over to her back fence, and I crawl, get into her car, and I back up. There's a security camera across the street,
right.
So I had to act like her. I watched her every time she backed out.
He explained that they placed her in the seat, acting like she was just asleep.
Exactly like she did, and drove off.
Put her in the trunk?
No, I put her in the passenger seat of her own car. So I was driving, and I had her buckled in the passenger seat.
So she looks like she's just sleeping.
She's just sitting up, and my plan was, for me, I underestimated my own strength and how much a dead body would weigh. Because
it's limp weight.
Yeah. I got up on top of the bridge to throw her off. My plan was I was going to throw her off, run over, jump over the divider, and get into Preston's car. And I go up, open the door, unhook her, pull her out, start dragging her to throw her over, and then cars start coming up. I see, like, headlights coming. I try to get her over, and I can't. I fuck my leg up. Like, the weight from her body, like, made me fall, and my leg, like, went up. So now I'm limping, my leg's fucked up, and there's 3 cars coming up. So I grab her body. Dude, I had superhuman strength, and I threw it in the car, and I fucking picked it up, and her feet were up here, and her head was down there, and 3 cars go by, and I'm fucking losing my shit, because that easily could have been a cop. And then Preston comes over the bridge, goes around, makes a U-turn, comes up behind me. The 2 of us throw the body over, and then we're out.
Oh, so you needed help?
I needed help, yeah.
She's not even that big of a girl, right?
No.
The fact that Sarah's body hadn't been found didn't stop the police. By February 1st, 2017, Liam and Preston were officially arrested in connection with her death. And saying people were shocked by who got arrested, that's like a total understatement. If there's such a thing as the perfect group of best friends, it was totally them, one of their classmates said. That's why the whole community was in total disbelief, especially their class. That crew was literally inseparable. And here's the twist. The usually chatty Liam went quiet, while normally reserved Preston started talking. And man, did he have a lot to say. He confessed to everything. Yeah. Sarah and Liam did talk about moving to Canada, but according to Preston, it was way more manipulative than anyone realized. Liam had been playing her, using her dream of moving for his own benefit. He convinced her she needed to withdraw cash so they could finish the plan for their move together. On December 2nd, they went to the bank together, and Sarah withdrew about $7,000 from the money she'd kept in her safe. Then they went back to her house, and Liam, cold as ice, killed her. Preston told the authorities where to find 2 buried safes in the park. One had part of Sarah's inheritance, the other her clothes. And Get this, when Liam was arrested, he had the key to one of the safes on him. Preston also walked the investigators through Sarah's house, giving a detailed account of what he saw and exactly what happened when they got to the bridge.
How was Sarah's body positioned in this bathroom?
She was sitting like this, tucked into the corner and leaning over the toilet.
Okay, and her feet were where?
Sticking out into the room.
Okay.
I grabbed her legs and got her over to the fence.
Okay, so you're carrying Sarah by her legs. Are her legs dragging on the ground, or are they up in the air?
I was like holding them up in the air.
And what part of Sarah's body was Liam holding?
Her torso.
Okay.
And we carried her over to this fence near the safe was. Hoisted her up and over. Threw the safe over. The two of us jumped over.
Okay. We're saying Liam had her.
Liam had her by the shoulders and hoisted her up onto the railing. And then I pushed her feet over so that she was going over the rest of the way.
Right.
As she went over, immediately after, her body was up and over the rail. As we were running back to my car, the black Mercury Mystique, we heard a loud metallic bang, and that was all.
Okay. Did you have any conversation with Liam about that noise that you heard?
No.
Unbelievably, Liam never fully admitted to what he'd done. Preston, on the other hand, knowing how much trouble he was in, chose a different path.
On the right of your screen, came clean about money.
In April 2017, Preston Taylor pleaded guilty to first-degree robbery, second-degree conspiracy to commit robbery, and second-degree abuse of human remains. He also agreed to testify against Liam at the trial. Almost exactly 2 years after Sarah went missing, the trial for Liam McAtasney kicked off. The Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office had only handled one other no-body case before, so, the tension was super real from the start. Liam had already fired his first attorney, and the new lawyer tried everything to keep Anthony's recorded confession out of court. The argument? Basically, without a body, there's no cause of death, no time of death, and no real way to prove anything. That recording, though, was crucial. Liam's explanation for it was, pretty absurd. He claimed that his confession to Anthony was just him trying to land a role in a movie, that it was some badly phrased acting audition that Anthony supposedly twisted to frame him. Of course, that didn't fly. The recording was admitted, and Anthony Curry also took the stand to testify. Liam? He didn't say a single word in court, no testimony, nothing to defend himself. Besides that detailed and terrifyingly specific confession on tape, Preston also testified.
We decided that Liam was strangling. Any other way, any type of weapon would have been too messy, left a lot of evidence. And then as far as what to do with her after she was dead, we talked about a couple of plans, burying her down at the campsite that Liam's dad owns, leaving her at the house, and then ultimately we decided that the best way to go about it would be to make it look like a suicide.
Now there's a verdict in the case of a New Jersey man accused of killing his high school friend for her inheritance. He's been found guilty.
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
Liam McAtasney was found guilty on 7 counts, including first-degree murder, murder committed during the course of a felony, and robbery. When the verdict was read, he actually cried tears, but like the prosecutor said, it was all just an act. Totally fake. He had never cared about anyone but himself. And honestly, it showed. It was supposed to be Sarah's 22nd birthday that day. Her dad, Michael, brought balloons and flowers to the bridge, just to remember her.
The most important thing is to get justice for Sarah. She was a great kid and never should have ended like this. Thank everybody. Thank you.
Breaking news in Freehold, New Jersey, where a 21-year-old man has just been sentenced.
A 21-year-old guy was just sentenced to life in prison. Liam McAtasney got life without the possibility of parole. Preston Taylor later got 18 years and will be eligible for parole in 2032. Preston said, "I said so many things in this situation that I wish I could take back. I should have realized it sooner and stopped it. More than anything in the world, I wish I had done that." But the judge made it clear he was still responsible for everything except actually strangling her. Both of them appealed their sentences, but both appeals were denied. The fact that Liam could plan something like this with one of his so-called best friends of almost 15 years and that Preston went along just for money was, terrifying. Megan, Liam's mom, said she still can't believe her son could do something like this. She claimed he loved and adored Sarah, and there wasn't a single part of her that ever thought he could be involved in what happened. It's also worth noting that without Anthony and his recorded confession, they probably would have never known what happened, let alone gotten a conviction. Could Liam have ever confessed to anyone else besides Preston? The police think probably not. Anthony said, "I'm gonna live with this for the rest of my life." He used to be an amazing friend, like one of my best friends, He'd give you the shirt off his back. Now, he's a killer. If someone's capable of this, they could try to hurt my family or someone I care about. You don't think someone could do something like this? It's heartbreaking. In a way, when your good friend does this, you just don't think it's possible. It was an innocent person. It's one of the most senseless and shocking cases. The fact that she died at the hands of one of her closest, most trusted friends is horrifying enough. But thinking about how long and painful it all was, half an hour makes it even worse. When Liam and Preston found out about her inheritance, it was like they instantly turned on her, seeing their friend only as a source of money. They went to extreme lengths out of greed. And the only thing that seemed to bother Liam at all, the money wasn't as much as he had hoped. They spent 2 months planning every step to keep the murder hidden, while even joining the searches and pretending to support Sarah's family. Even though there were massive search efforts, Sarah's body was never found, and it probably never will be. Experts said her body would have been washed out to sea in less than an hour, and by the next day, it would have been a mile off the Atlantic coast. Her community still remembers her as an active, meaningful part of so many lives. Her old school even started a scholarship in her honor, and they hold charity football games to raise money for it. Every year, the scholarship is awarded to one student in the arts. Sarah Stern had an incredible future ahead of her. It was her and Buddy against the world, and she was ready for new beginnings in new places. She was planning to move to Canada to focus on her art alongside her best friend, Liam. It's so sad to think about this story now. Her friends say her amazing artistic talents should have been her legacy. She should be remembered as a brilliant artist and as a kind, dedicated, and positive person. For Michael, who lost his wife and then his daughter in just a few years, it's impossible to imagine the pain and grief he has to live with. He said that when he found out Sarah had been killed and that her so-called best friends had done it, everything stopped making sense and left him feeling empty and without trust. He said, "My life is on pause. You never know what's going to trigger a thought about Sarah. There's this huge hole in my heart, and nothing's ever going to make it whole again." Thanks so much to everyone who watched this video. I really hope you found it meaningful and important to know this story. If you want to support my channel and help keep making content, please like, comment, share the video, and subscribe. Your support really does matter, and I truly appreciate everyone who helps keep these stories alive.